Hi everybody, I'm Alex and welcome to A Single Woman on the Loose, where I give you tips on pet sitting. Many people, like myself, want to tour the world but don't have quite the finances, so they decide to international house sit periodically so they can visit different countries. And today I want to talk about international pet sitting, the pros and cons of long and short sits, because there's a big difference between the two, and neither one is better than the other. It's just up to you to decide which is right for you and which is best for your wallet. So the first thing that you have to look at when, say, a sit comes up, everybody goes, wow, 3 weeks in Australia, 4 weeks in Italy, whatever it is. The first thing you need to look at, how long are you allowed to stay in a country by your visa? You have to check that. Now, I had a friend recently that was all excited about going to a country, and she said, oh, it's in the Schengen region. I can stay for 180 days. Well, as it turns out, that particular country within the Schengen region said, no, you can stay in the Schengen region for 180 days in different countries, but you can only stay in our country for 30 days. So it's very important that you see, how long can I stay in a country? You don't want to sign up for a 2-month sit and then find out you only stay for 30 days. And you can't say that if it says 30 days, you can't wait till the 30th day to leave, because you got to be out of there by the 30th day. So keep that in mind. So first I want to talk about the pros of long sits. Now, when I say a long sit, I'm talking 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 months, 3 months even in some cases. And you need to take a look at a bunch of different things to make sure it's right for you. Now, the first thing that is a pro is that you get to settle in. You're not constantly packing and unpacking your bags. You get to meet people, get to know a little bit of the language. You can join expat groups and meetup.com so that you meet people who have been living there, or at least are familiar with the area and have your interests. And expat groups are a phenomenal resource. These are people who have been there and done that. And they can tell you the best doctors, hospitals, where to get the best bargains at the markets, what the hiking trails are, what good museums, if that's the case, in the area. So don't ever discount expats. They're wonderful information givers. Okay, another positive is that you get to save money. Now, wherever you go, you've got to buy your food. So I don't count food at all when I'm talking about expenses. But for example, if you hop, say, from Italy, and then you go to the south of Italy for a week, and then you go to France for a week, you're going to burn through your savings really, really quickly, because you've got to go by plane, boat, you've got to go by train, boat, you've got to rent a car, airplane, and believe me, that can drain your finances very quickly. Now, if you have an online business and you're bringing in money, you probably don't care. You say, whatever, I can handle this, it's really good. Now, the cons of a long sit is if you arrive, the weather is horrible the whole time. The people aren't really friendly. The house leaves a little bit to be desired. The pets are out of control. The whole bit. On and on and on. You're stuck. You can't just take off and leave. You'd be dropped by the company. And also, people are on a vacation. They could be hundreds, if not thousands of miles away. And you're stuck there because they can't get home. They're counting on you. You made an agreement with them. Basically, it's a verbal contract. So keep that in mind when you're looking at long sits. Now, a short sit is, again, has pros and cons for the long or for the short sit. For example, the pros are that, again, you arrive, you don't like the area, the people aren't nice, weather is horrible. Who cares? You're there 1 or 2 weeks, you're out of there. You're going on to a new sit. And so a pro is that you can move on, and you also get to look at other places, a lot more places than someone who goes for a month or 2 months in one place and a couple months in another place. You can see a lot of places in a short amount of time if you have the funds to keep going. Now, the pros of or the cons of a short sit is that you don't get to settle in. You don't get to meet people and join expat groups or meetup.com. You don't really get to see a lot of the things that the area has to offer when you flit from place to place. And it gets very expensive, as I said, with airfare and trains and buses and cars that you may have to rent. So there is a downside to that. So this can also be translated into local sits. You know, again, you're local, so you don't have as many expenses with travel, but you may not like the sit, you miss out on another sit that comes up. So you really have to weigh all of the pros and cons. Now, what many people do who house sit internationally full time is they may get a sit for a month in Mexico, and then they decide they want to go to Ecuador and they get 2 weeks, and then they may do 3 weeks in Panama and then go on to France for just a week. So they kind of alternate the long sits with the short sits, and it helps with finances, but it also allows them to have a lot more time to see more places. So I hope this helps you out. If you decide you want an international house sit, please hit the subscribe. It'll help me out, and I will continue to make these videos to help you out with your pet sitting. Thanks for watching. Happy travels.